In Inazuma 11 Go, Skie Blue fails as a manager. Why? Well, let's find out. TXM style. What's up everyone, and welcome to a new Inazuma 11 video on the channel. Today we have another Inazuma 11 character review for you guys, where we take a character, we analyze, we review, we discuss, and we come up with a conclusion at the end of why this character's good, why this character's bad, why this character smells of toes, who knows. But today's character is Skie Blue, a character I've been on the record of saying that I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't quite like Skie Blue. I may have included them in my top 10 worst characters video. So you can kind of guess what the tone and vibe of this video is probably going to be. But ignore that. Pretend that didn't happen. Because while I still stand by the point that Skie Blue is a terrible character, I'd like to talk about the reasons why in more depth. So whatever I said there, I don't remember. Doesn't matter. New reasons. We're discussing things in more depth. Let's discuss 400 IQ. As we discuss Skie Blue, I'd like to discuss another thing that is quite prominent both in Inazuma 11, but in fiction in general, particularly sequels. And that is the art of the copycat character, as I have decided to name it very quickly. And what I mean by that is when you make a sequel to something and introduce characters who are essentially the same characters as like a pre-existing character. For instance, let's take Inazuma 11 Go versus Inazuma 11. A lot of the characters are basically the exact same. For instance, Arian and Mark. Arian is Mark 2. Victor is Axel 2. Ricardo is Jude 2. These characters are obviously meant to fill certain roles, and sometimes that's fine. Particularly, that's fine when the character has new traits added upon them to make them more interesting, more different, and more unique. For instance, Victor has a sibling in hospital. Wait, no, that's the same as Axel. For instance, Ricardo's music motif is very different to Jude's penguin motif. See? Two very different characters, even though they fill the same role. Now, my problem with Skie Blue is that Skie doesn't do anything different. Aside from the fact that this time she's blue. She's just Sylvia 2. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about. Skie Blue is Sylvia 2. That rhymes. You can make a rap of it. Skie Blue. Sylvia 2. Can't believe it, but it's really, really annoying. Gonna make a video talking about it. Like and subscribe, please. To truly discuss Skie Blue, we must first focus on Sylvia Woods. Sylvia Trees. The character from the first 3 seasons who obviously returns and Go and all that. But we're focusing on the original Sylvia, who is a best friend of Mark, who becomes the manager, who I guess already is the manager of Raimon, and like helps them. She's basically the typical the female best friend, vague kind of love interest, but not really, throughout the entire original series. Sylvia also has the cool character traits of pining after Americans. She wants to shag Eric Eagle, and there's also Bobby, who is her friend. She has an interesting relationship with, obviously not sexual relationship, not a romantic relationship, a friendship. Don't know why I use the word relationship. They have an interesting friendship and bond. Their dynamic is really interesting, especially in the first season, it really shines. Sylvia is constantly involved in the actual plot. For instance, Sylvia is but when I say that, I mean particularly the Bobby stuff in the first season. Bobby obviously has this whole dilemma about being a spy from Royal or whatever. Sick. Well done, Bobby. And then Sylvia has kind of her character conflict because she knows Bobby. She's meant to be Bobby's mate, but then Bobby turns out to be a bad man. Whoa, what's gonna happen? And that obviously leads to a lot of interesting plot. I think the stuff with Bobby, Eric, and Sylvia are some of the most interesting stuff in Season 1. So where's Skie Blue's version of that? It's cool, we're still waiting. Oh, nothing. Neat. Skie Blue is hollowness. Skie Blue is the game Hollow Knight. Skie Blue is empty inside and probably wishing for death. Skie Blue has nothing to her. There's nout. There's literally nout. There's no other character traits. Skie Blue is Arian's best friend who becomes the manager of Raimon and fills the typical female friend, best friend role in an anime like this. And also maybe a vague love interest for Arian, but also not really. But where's Skie's Americans? Why isn't Skie trying to get with some Italians? I don't know. Give Skie something, please. She wears a lot of outfits. Sick. Skie is a prominent character in all 3 seasons of Go. In Galaxy, she's a manager again. This time she has a new appearance, like she does her hair different and she wears different clothes. What a cool personality. I so aggressively cannot get on board with Skie Blue. It's just, why would you create Sylvia 2 and not add any interesting traits? Sylvia wasn't just a blank canvas. Sylvia wasn't just a bland character. Sylvia had character freaking relationships. She had character dynamics. Sylvia interacted with characters, but Go's too busy shoving its rod up of Arian's arse for it to remember that, oh, Skie? We should give Skie character? How about we don't do that? What do you mean, how about we don't do that? No, you do that. You give Skie something to work with. I think copycat characters can potentially maybe work. Inazuma 11 definitely has roles. One might compare Inazuma 11 to Commedia dell'arte. That might be what it's called. Where basically it was a form of theatre where you would stock characters. Inazuma 11 is stock characters, very much so. They've characters. If you were to make an Inazuma 11 season, you would have a basis of what kind of characters you had to make off the bat because you just fill in with stock characters. Commedia dell'arte used masks. Inazuma 11 instead of masks has positions, I guess. You have obviously the edgy forward, you have the goalkeeper. I mean, that's not really one, but you know what I mean. You have the excitable captain, you have the playmaker. You have these roles that need to be filled. And Skie feels like a quota. Skie feels like she's being a character purely made to fill that role. Fill that void of female manager, best friend. There's nothing more to her besides that. She is that, and she is just that. That is all she is, and that's my problem with her. My problem with Skie, sure, she's forgettable, she's bland, but she's forgettable and bland because of the fact that she was created purely to fill a void. There is no interesting characteristics added on her to make her free of that void, to make her free of that prison. Instead, she's trapped in there, and she's just a bloody copycat. A bloody freaking copycat. And if anyone wants to argue with me, take it to the comments and we'll fight. Keyboard to keyboard. But anyway, that was my quick rant on why I dislike Skie Blue. And why I think Skie Blue is very much just a simple copycat character. Oh boy. In case you're curious, by the way, I actually like Jade Green and Rosie Red. I know that Rosie Red is obviously very similar to Celia, is obviously filling that void. But at least Rosie Red is a crush on Ricardo instead of being his sister. And Jade Green gets angry a lot, so that's pretty different from Nelly, so I'll take that. So, you know, they're fine. It's Skie Blue who is just made to fill a void. She's made to fill a black hole. What's the point? Add her into something interesting, maybe make Skie Blue Italian. Give us something, please. Anyway, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below what you think of Skie Blue. And anyway, I'll see you guys next time for another Inazuma 11 video. Bye.